Number 5, we must break down this trinomial into the product of two binomials. How do we do it when there's a number out in front here? Well, what we have to do is we're going to do a method. I don't really like it, but we're going to do it. It's called busting B. Okay. Now, this value in front of the x squared is always referred to as your A value. The number here is called your B value, and the number here is your C value. We're going to bust that B down into two different pieces. So let's see how we're going to do that. Well, the way we start this is we do the A times the C. Well, 8 times -1 is -8. So we have to think, what multiplies together to give us a -8? Well, we're going to just worry about the numbers that multiply together to give us 8, which 1 and 8, 2 and 4. Now, since it's a -8, one of them has to be negative, one of them has to be positive. We need a difference of +2. The ones that have a difference of 2 are here. We need it to be a +2, so the plus must be on the 4 and the minus on the 2. That way, -2 times +4 is -8, check, and added together will give me the +2 that I need it to give me right here. Now, the reason this is called busting B is because we're going to bust B down into the addition of two numbers, which in this case, we're going to do a -2x plus 4x. We all agree -2x plus 4x is a +2x. I'm going to bring down my C value here of -1. I'm going to bring down this piece here, which is 8x squared. So I've broken it into 4 pieces, which is what we're going to always try to do. When we bust B into 2 pieces, it'll give us 4. Now we're going to do what's called factor by grouping. I'm going to group these, and then I'm going to group these. You will notice that I put the -2x here and the plus 4x here. It is always helpful if you try to have the second piece, if you have one negative, one positive, the second piece to be a plus there. Because if I have a minus there, I'm going to have to manipulate it a little bit, and I'll teach you how to do that. But in this case, I wanted the minus in front, then the plus, so I don't have to deal with distributing the negative through problems. So here now, we've broken it into our two factor by grouping into two different things from the 4 pieces. I now look at this front numbers in parentheses and say, hey, what's the greatest common factor I have here? Well, if 8 and 2, you have a 2 that can factor out. Okay, good. What about x's? I have an x squared and an x, so an x can factor out. Now, 2 times what is 8? A 4. X times what is x squared? An x. Now, everything 2x has been pulled out, so this is just simply a -1 there, because 2x times a -1 or -1 is -2x. I come to my next piece. Does anything factor out? No. So I just put the number 1 and then write down 4x minus 1. Notice what we have done here is this has a 4x minus 1 and this has a 4x minus 1. Technically, they both can now factor out, and you have 4x minus 1 out here. And then these are the two pieces that are left behind, a 2x and a plus 1. And we have now factored this into the product of two binomials using the bust and B method. And that multiplied will give you the answer right there. So yes, we factored it correctly.